Hello there, welcome to the How Can I Support My Child series. It's another beautiful day and it is 8:30 a.m. that time where we come to answer questions on how we can be more effective parents and how we can support our children effectively to be the best versions of themselves. My name is Maribeth Chima and I'm the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. And yes, a proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, a peer mentorship and accountability group where we mentor and we give accountability to young children and preteens because we want to help them become excellent at everything that they do, including being excellent in their academics. Yes, and that's why we are going to be answering the question today. How do I set a good foundation for academic success for my child? This is what we are going to be talking about in today's 20 or 30 minutes chat that we will be having in this session. Are you here with me right now? Are you catching the replay? If you are, then don't do this alone. It takes a village. It takes a village to train up child. You need your mother, yes, the people who support your child and who support you. They need to be in sync with you. They need to be on the same page with you. So why don't you go ahead and invite them to be a part of the show today and every other show we have from Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. to 9 at the most, so that we can discuss and answer questions that can help us parent better. The answers to these questions are solutions that we create in our books or publications. They are solutions that we create in our courses. They are solutions that we share hacks, right, with you. But we know that these tips here and hacks here are never enough. Parenting is a marathon, it is not a sprint. So you can't do parenting with a little hack here and a little hack there. You can't do parenting by using the templates that your mother or your grandmother used. It simply means that you are not upgrading. And you know what happens even in the business, even in the marketplace, you know what happens in your offices and in your businesses. When you are not upgrading, you lose your clients. When you are not upgrading, you lose your job. When you are not upgrading, you become obsolete, isn't it? So, yes, it's the same thing that applies with parenting. You are parenting a child in the 21st century. You are parenting a Gen Z. You are parenting an alpha generation child. You are parenting a tech native. So, their parents, you cannot use the template of your millennia. You can't use your millennial templates or your generation X or Y templates to raise these ones. So yes, there is a need for upgrading, and let nobody at all ever tell you that parenting does not have a handbook or a template. No, you are using a handbook. You are using a template. You do not just recognize which template you are using. You do not recognize, or you have not given it a name, because most likely or chances are you are using the template that your mother handed you. You are using the template that society has handed you. You are using the template that your culture has handed you. So give and take. You are using a template. You have not just come to terms with it. And let no one tell you the parenting is not learned. How can it not be learned? When you learn how to raise dogs and you learn how to rear fishes and you learn how to rear chickens, how can you not learn how to raise a whole human being that will be a blessing or a nuisance to the society? So these are some of the mistakes that we have made decades and decades before now, and it's a mistake that you do not want to make as a parent in today's world. So what do? You begin to break patterns. You need to begin to change and unlearn some of the things that you have learned before now that are not serving you or serving your child especially, and then you begin to change these things and replace them with new things that are more empowering, more connection prone, and more supportive for your child to become the best version of themselves. Welcome to the show again. So let's go right into the crux of the matter. If you have invited your friends and you have tagged your loved ones on Facebook and you have shared the link on YouTube, then we're ready to go. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's a good time to hit that subscription button straight away. Also, remember to hit the notification so whenever we go live, you can join us. It's a short show, so let's get right into it. So, how can I set my child, or what can I set a good foundation for my child's academic success? If you follow me, if you have been following me, then you would know, or you would have heard over and over again that I believe very strongly that our children need more than just academic success to succeed or to be exceptional. Our children need to excel in the classroom and beyond the classroom. Now, for people who interpret this wrongly, they will say, oh, no, this coach is saying it's skills alone that matter. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that skills alone will not help us raise the kind of giants that we want to raise. Skills are not enough, okay? And academic skill is not enough. It is just one part. It is just one drop in the ocean of skills that our children need to actually navigate the world effectively. And this is what we preach. This is what we preach in our peer mentorship and accountability group. This is what we preach through the books that we create, the resources that we create for parents and for children. This is what we preach in everything that we do. No wonder I wrote this book, Unlocking Excellence. All right. It says a student's guide to success beyond the classroom. All right. But then again, isn't excellence or academic success important? It is very, very important. And we're going to be looking right now at why academic success is very important. So that you will not say, Coach Mirabeth said that our children do not have to do well, or I should not worry that my child is not doing well in school. If our children are not doing well in school, we should get worried. Now, it is what we now do for them to do well or better in school that is the real issue. Because a lot of times we are chasing the wrong things. If our children are struggling in school, their parents, chances are, to a huge extent, that the problem or the challenge was in the foundation. Chances are the challenge was actually in the things that we did not think could actually affect the academics. So we'll be looking at a few of those things today. All right, so number one we need to understand why academic success is very important is that school and all those subjects that have been picked and tailored by the experts for your child to go through as a curriculum will help your child build the ability to solve problems and to think critically. Do you know that when your child sits down to do math, it is not just exactly all about getting answers. It is your child being able to stay there. And while the concept is difficult to understand, or the concept is the child has put in, a lot of effort and the child is not able to get to the result or get the results that the teacher says is supposed to be the result. The child stays in there and is looking, what did I do wrong? What step did I get wrong? What step did I miss? And the child is able to go back, try again. Your child is building resilience while your child is at that. Your child is building the ability to stay on and complete their task. Your child is learning to solve his own problem. Your child is building all of these skills. So no, it's not just about the answer in math. It's not just about the child getting it right. It's about the process that leads to the child getting it right. So yes, school academic work will actually help our children build critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It is very, very important. These are executive functioning skills that will help them navigate the world effectively. Number two, it will open doors to future opportunities. Yes, if you are African, especially, please tell your children that an education is very critical, it's very important. There are places that you will go that people will not even listen to know the extent of the skills that you have inside if there is no paper record or there is no record of an academic achievement, isn't it? No wonder you want to go and get a job, right? A job that will require skills. But the first thing they're asking for is that you have a certain kind of certificate. You have a 2-1, you have a first class, and all of that. And we all know that sometimes the people with the first class are the people who do not even know how to save themselves on the streets. We know this, isn't it? But hey, it is a criteria before they even figure out that you know how to do that you know the skill, or you have, mastery of this skill. They want to see that you were able to discipline yourself enough to actually excel academically. Now, what your academic records tell is that this person is teachable. This person is a willing learner. This person has got the ability to stay and achieve their goals. This person is disciplined and all of that. So first of all, that's the first impression, or that's the first thing that we get from the fact that you came out with a certain class of results. It means that you were focused. It means that you could achieve. If you can achieve this, it means that this person is malleable and we're able to get this person to do the things that we want on the job. So that's why you come in first with the qualification, and the job begins to train you. I remember when I went into banking, right? I got in first before I had to learn on the job. I wasn't sent straight to a station to go and start doing whatever. I had to understudy someone. I had to go to training school. Now, I needed a university, I needed a university education, first of all, for them to trust that I will be able to shoulder, or I'll be able to go through the process of the banking training, basically. So yes, it will open doors for your child. A strong academic foundation can provide access to higher education, to scholarships, to career opportunities, and it will give the children a wide range of choices in the future. So let's not get it twisted. Your child's academic, excellence is critical. It will boost their confidence, of course. That is one of the easiest ways to boost your child's confidence outside the home. All right, we already know that the place where confidence is boosted, or where your child gets their confidence, is first from home. A child with a good self-esteem that has been built at home through love, the way the child is treated, the way the child is made to feel worthy, the way the child is communicated with, and two, the way the child's mistakes are accepted and the child is helped to become better in their home, the way the parent is available and present in the child's life. That is how your child will build a good self-esteem in the first place. It is from a good self-esteem that you exude confidence when you step out. Now, outside the home, another thing that will boost your child's confidence right outside the home, in a school setting, in a gathering of many people, another extra booster is how well they are doing academically. That child that is called up every time to come up as a best student, you think he's smarting? It comes with a lot of confidence. It comes with a lot of boost in their confidence. So yes, when children excel academically, or when they own their own academically, then of course it boosts their confidence. Of course, now it's a step, it's a step, or it's a platform for lifelong learning. So children who are academically inclined have a better chance to enjoy, love, and want to learn. So yes, a child who has learned the skill to study and to, excel in school, it's easier to convert that child into a lifelong learner than one that is struggling in school, doesn't like academic activities, and doesn't bother with excelling in school. And then the last and fifth one I'll be giving you is overall personal development. A child who can be developed, a child whose academic, journey can be supported and developed is very, it's most likely, going to be inclined to personal development. In fact, it's the other way around. When the child has been built, right, to be self-aware, to understand who they are, to understand their strength, when the child is built to know how to control themselves, discipline is inculcated, the child learns routines and structures and all of that, these automatically will translate into how the child does in school. So yes, a child whose personal development has been focused on and has been empowered in that area will excel in school. I'm not guessing. It is 100% thing. Your child has been developed, their personal development, is on point. The child understands routine. The child has been given structure, boundaries. Your child is that structured. Your child will be flying in the sky when it comes to the academics. So they go hand in hand, all right? And yes, so these are part of the things that we need to look at. But these are the reasons why, yes, academic excellence is very important. Academic excellence is very key. And that's why we are looking at how you can create a solid foundation for your child to excel academically. So don't ever go anywhere and say these coaches say that how the children's grades are not important. We didn't say that. You're just taking one part of the conversation. Okay, the conversation is a holistic one. All right, so let's jump right into what we can do to help our children set that foundation for academic excellence. Dear parents, did I start by saying that a lot of times parents understand their child's performance in school as the child getting great grades, okay, in tests and in examinations. We want to see that our children are staying away from trouble and that the child is of their best behavior. The moment we have this kind of child, we say this child is doing well in school. The moment this is the case, we say, oh, this child is excelling. But academic success is much more than the grades. It's much more than the grades. It's much more, than the child staying away from trouble. It's much more than the child being of their best behavior when they are in class. So no wonder when our children are going to boarding school, what we say to them is, oh, remember the home that you are coming from. If I hear pim from that school, then nobody call me. And suspension, if they suspend you, you will not go back, and all of that. Make sure you know why you went to that school. Your job there is to go and do well and come out. So when we say some of these things, when we say them in this traditional way that we say them, the language or what our children are hearing is go to school and study and make good grades. Make sure you don't get into trouble with anybody and be of your best behavior so that you don't get suspended or get into any kind of trouble like this. All right. When we limit it to this, okay, as much more that we can charge the children with when they go there to school. How about saying to the children, when you get in there, remember that you are a representative of who we are as a family. Make sure that you are impacting the lives of the people in your school. Remember, you are a leader. Ensure that you show up in leadership role. Remember, leadership is service. Remember this and make sure that you are always putting yourself in a place of service. Remember that you need to earn everything that you have. Make sure that you make yourself so valuable that the system recognizes your value and the system uses you, because it is people who are usable that are used. How about all of this? Remember where you are coming from, the values that we uphold. Let me hear those values. The values of what? We put God first of everything. Everyone, family comes first. We choose our friends. When it's holistic, right? It's more than just go and pass, so don't get into trouble, oh, and then don't get into trouble, and don't do anything that will make them suspend you. Don't go and get pregnant. Don't go and follow girls. Don't go and follow boys. So if we repeat these things, we make it, it's limiting, right? The expectations are limited, so it's bigger than this. All right, so number one thing we need to do to get our children to excel academically is, one, we need to help our children recognize their behavior. Behavior is everything. Their behavior towards everything is very critical. Okay, and we're going to be looking at a number of behaviors. All right, number one behavior that you will look at is how your child prepares for school in the first place. So now we're going back to school. Everybody's talking back to school, back to school, back to school. You know, as parents, we are saying, oh, learn what school your child should be, what environment you're putting the child in. Now you need to bring this down, break it down, and bring it to the child. What does the child need to do as an individual? What does the child need to know as an individual? What does the child need to apply as an individual in order for the child to succeed in school? All right. So while you are getting your own training, ensure that your children are also getting their own training, right, on how to do this. Now, when you are done with your own training, make sure that you are able to carve it into some sort of a curriculum or some of a process that you will work with your children on. Now, when you work with your children in this process, know that you need partners. Don't forget this in working with your preteens. The moment your children get to that age, you have 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, you know, your school age children and your preteens. Don't forget this strategy in your parenting. Having collaborators and partners who can resonate, who can reaffirm the things that you say. Okay, having partners and collaborators who can speak the same language that you are speaking. A lot of times when children are in this phase of their lives, you as a parent, your impact, right? Your impact on them or your influence on them actually dwindles, right? It dwindles. And sometimes the things that you say need reaffirmation. The children need someone to reaffirm what you are saying. The children need to know that it's not just you, especially if you have been an overbearing parent. You have been that parent that it's your way or the highway. You have that parent that has not really connected. They need to, even for those of us who have connected with our children, you know, they need to know that this is not just about you. This is not just in our house. This is what obtains, you know, beyond here. This is what obtains in the world. This is the real thing. Okay, it may not be the choice of mediocres, but this is the wisdom. This is wisdom, basically. So they need to know this, and that wisdom will come not just from you, but from the people who partner with you, the people who collaborate with you. All right. So in everything that you do for this group of children, please get partners and get collaborators. Okay, get people who partner with you on this. So that's why we say, when you are done with learning, get your children into systems where they can also learn. All right. So recently I launched 2 books, 2 amazing books. Okay, and we also had the reading challenge and all of that. Now, for those who bought the books, right, we have a back to school sort of set to excel in school masterclass that we have put together for preteens and young children. So yes, that is the kind of, you know, a collaboration or partnership that we're talking about, where your children will sit and also learn from us, right? And they can get their own manual. So while you have your manual, they can get their own manual and they can get to work, because yes, your children are capable of setting goals and they're capable of creating plans to achieve those goals. And if they are supported and guided, they can actually execute and reach that goal or those goals that they have set for themselves. This is what we do with the children in the Mastermind Circle, in simple words or in simple terms. All right. So yes, 2 ways you can get into that masterclass. You can get our new book. It's just 2 amazing books for just 7,000 naira. 2 amazing books for 7,000 naira, and your child can be a part of that masterclass. Yep. And then if that's not the case, we have a small fee. I think it's we have a small fee. It's just 3,000 naira to join the masterclass. So whether you want to come and join the masterclass with just 3,000, or you want to get 2 amazing books alongside, it's up to you. But get your child to be a part of that, to be a part of that system. Sorry, is it 3? I'll check with the team. Is it that 3 or 5,000 anyway? So it's something like that, not anything big. But get your children in that system where they have their own back to school masterclass, and all of that. So it's very key that our children are walking this journey as we are walking the journey. So yes, how is your child preparing for the new school term? Now, after preparation for the new school term, they get into school. How does your child prepare every day for school? How do you get your children to prepare every day from school to go to school? These are the hacks that I will be giving. How about the child come back before the child goes to school? Get your children. This is what we get the children in the mastermind to do. Get your children to prepare for school the day before school. So meaning the day before school, the child has all that he needs for school the next day. He has his clothes, he has his shoes, he has his stationery, everything that they need to go to school the next day prepared before school. All right. Now, when we do this and we make it a habit, remember, all right, I talked about the structure, the systems that you have. This is what forms people. All right. Now, make this a part of your system and make this a part of the structure in your home where your children do this every day before they go to school. So they come back from school, they rest, get their homework done and all of that. And before dinner, make sure this is not done at the time that the child is tired, the child wants to just jump and sleep, and you start saying, are we prepared for school? No, make sure it comes before an exciting activity. Let it come before an exciting activity. In fact, let it be the criteria to get into the exciting activity. That's how you get children to do the things that they don't like to do a lot. Put it as something that comes before what they like to do a lot. So it can come before dinner. Get your stuff ready, food is ready. Now go to your room and get things for school ready and come and eat dinner. Boom, they go and they will do it in 5 minutes and they will come back because dinner is exciting. All right, so that's one of the ways, okay, preparation. Number 2, homework and assignments. How do we get our children to see their homework and see their assignments? If you're parents that your children cannot get to it, remember, we're talking about your young children and your preteens. We're talking about your 6-year-old, 7, 10, 12, 13-year-old, right? If your 6, 10, 12, 13-year-olds cannot sit down and take their assignments and do them on their own, and they have to wait for you or they have to wait for a lesson teacher, then something is wrong. Okay, you need to go and catch the replay of yesterday and day before yesterday's session where we talked about how we can help our children learn independently. Okay, so those classes will help you. It's in the group here and on YouTube. If you search, it's in the group also on YouTube. All right, it's in the YouTube videos list. Basically, just check for yesterday and Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday session. All right, your children will have to learn how to learn independently. All right, so if your 6 or 10-year-old has to wait for anyone to start their homework, then something is wrong. So you need to get them into that place. Have a fixed time for homework. Have a fixed time so your children know that. Of course, we're talking routines here, right? Your children know that I get back from school at say 3, 4, 5. I know how life is these days, so we spend longer time in school. But if you can, parents, anything you can do within your power to have your children spend less time in school, please do it. If you have to take those extracurricular activities from a regular school day and put them during the weekends, please do. If you have to stop your child from doing all those extracurricular activities in school and get them systems, an academy outside the school where they can do them, please do. Am I saying it's not okay to do these things in school? No, I'm saying it is important that our children are getting enough rest per day. It is important that your child gets time to play per day. Even for your preteen, it's important that they get a 1 hour time, right, to just do things, to actually initiate activities on their own that can help them engage themselves outside screen, TV, phones, and all of that. So if we don't create that avenue. We don't create that time in their schedule where they have a time to themselves, where they can think up an activity, initiate that activity, and create excitement fun for themselves. Your children should create dopamine feel for themselves. They should not depend on all of these things for dopamine, that feel good hormones. They should not always depend on external factors for it, or else we'll get them to the point where they become dopamine drained. They will become addicted to these things because these are the things that give them that good feeling. So if you don't have that time for them to, work it out themselves, right, then you are not making them resourceful. You're not providing the resources that they need. So create that time. All right. So let them have that homework and assignment, behavior that they can use. Number 3, let your children learn how to think. Let your children learn how to think. You can actually teach your child how to think. How do you teach your child how to think? You teach your child how to think by ensuring that your child does or applies the little tools that they need to help thinking. One of them is thinking on paper. So have a system with your child that every time that you want to have family meeting, you want to have a conversation that is more than just 1-2 minutes, you want to talk to them about something serious, say to them, bring your pad. All right, say to them, bring your pad, and then let them, when they are saying something to you, tell them, think on paper. I'm here waiting, think on paper. So when you do this consistently, you will get your children into into that system where they actually write down their process. The other way you can do this is to get your child into the system of journaling. Let your children learn to stop and journal at the end of the day. All right, get your children into the system of reflection. Let your children learn how to reflect. Let them force themselves into that place where they can stop and ask themselves questions. Sorry, my daughter has got yes, go ahead. So when force themselves into that place where they can get themselves to stop and think. A lot of adults do not know how to think even today. All right, we know that's famous saying by Thomas Edison that only 5% of people really think. 25% of people think that they are thinking. 75% of people would rather die than think. But then again, we are all strolling around thinking that we are thinking, when in actual sense, it's only about 5% of human beings that really think. So you don't want your child to be a part of that statistics. You want your child to develop the habit of thinking by making sure that you help them develop that habit. All right. And this is how. Get them to think on paper, get them to reflect, get them to journal, get them to write gratitude. All of this would empower reflection. And as you reflect, they learn how to put down their thoughts on paper. This is what we do with the children in the mastermind circle. Yes, when your 6-year-old, your 8-year-olds come, this is what these are habits that we inculcate in the mastermind circle. Get your children to plan their day at the beginning of the day. It's a whole day that God has gifted you. You are being entitled if you don't use it well. You are being entitled if you don't plan to use it well. Now, how do you use it well? You plan to use it well. So I'm going to do this. Even if you're going to play, put the play in the plan. Let us know. You will also teach your children how to direct themselves and how to be disciplined when you do this with them. All right? Very, very critical. All right. Now, number 4, you have to encourage your children to participate in class. Encourage them to participate in class. And how do you do this? You talk about it. And when you come, you have conversations. Always tell them how you have participated in your own activities at work, at home, if you work on your own, if you work from home, if you work for yourself, tell them what your activity is like. Now, don't make this like some lesson. Make it like a conversation. Man, guess what? I started writing a new book today. Yay! You are giving your children feedback on how you have spent your day. Okay, I will say to them, oh God, I came around to writing 1,000 words today. So when I'm writing, my children know, my children know the process when I'm writing. So they know the process that it takes to actually write a book because I'm an author. So they can actually say to me, how far have you gone? When I say to my children, I've written 8,000 words. They know what I'm talking about. Man, I wrote 1,000 words today. They're like, "Yay, you did it." So they understand this. Oh, the book is gone to the editor. Oh, okay, that means it's almost ready, and all of that. Let them put your children through processes like this. Now, when you do this, you also get them to tell you. So you can now come, you have finished telling them how your day went. Now they will tell you how their day went. So stop asking how was school today. School was fine. And that's about it. They need to tell you how school went, and you will know how they participated. So what subjects happened today? Oh, math. Oh, how did you go in there? And the child is able to say to you, wow, what new thing did you give them in that class, in math class? Do this so that your children learn and they know that it is expected that they participate in class. All right. The other one is study. We already did that. We did how we can help our children, right, learn independently. And we talked about your child learning and studying independently. Now, that's another thing that you get. So for parents who got our book, they actually got 3 extra packs. One of them is the masterclass. The second one is a guide, a parent guide on how to help your child study independently. That guide is ready this weekend, and the parents are going to get it. Both the parents who did 30 days book challenge and those who got the book are going to get this study guide. Now, this study guide has the manual for you, the parents. And when the child comes to the masterclass, the child is going to get his own manual. So you see, we have it all packed and all ready for you. So you can actually still get to order our book and get books and get all the perks that come with this book. All right. The other one is reading for leisure. You should get your children to read books other than their school books. Let them incorporate reading for leisure. So your child should read a book for at least 30 minutes every day. Yes, a fiction book, a motivational book, a spiritual lifting book. Let your children learn to read outside just their schoolwork. Okay, this is you actually helping them build their behavior. We are still talking about behavior, dear parents. These are the things. So what are their study behavior? What are their self-development behavior? Let them read those books. Okay, now what are their what are their response to expectations, right? What are those behaviors, right? How do your children respond to their projects, note taking, writing their notes, copying their notes? Don't take any of these things for granted. These are the ways that we prepare our children to excel in school. It's not by how many lesson teachers you get them to come and sit down and help them solve, and help them learn concepts. That's all you do. When the lesson teachers come, all they are doing is the child doesn't understand fraction, he helps the child with fraction. The child doesn't understand this, he gives them example, helps them, shows them the step, and then gives the child a question to do, and then stays there. The child does step 1, how about step 2? Okay, basically he is directing your child every step of the way. You do not want to do that. That's cannot be the only academic support that your child has. It is their behavior first, and it is all of these behaviors that we are talking about. Now, what is your child's behavior towards assessment? What's their behavior towards the test, exams and all of that? There should be a behavior around tests and exams. How do your children prepare for tests? Do they think it is something important, or do they think it is something that is unimportant? You have to create that, expectation, and you have to create that, accountability. Your children should learn how to prepare for tests, and there should be a system, right? Now, for us in our home, our system is this: we prepare for tests every day. All right. So for every day, we do not just do homework. Every day we study. So we have a 30-minute study time for my 9-year-old. My daughter is 9. Our son runs his show by himself because study habit is already dusted. So we don't need to tell him the process. So he knows to study and he knows to do his homework. So he is free flowing, because that point will come where you have to let the child build their own stamina. From 10, your child should start building their own stamina after you have supported them up to this point. All right. So our daughter is still being supported, reminded, and then guided. All right. The most I would do is okay, I'm studying or I'm reading, get your stuff and it's your study time. Remind them of when it's a study time and all of that. Remind them, okay, it's time to pick a book and read for leisure. It's time to put all of this structure in place. We have a stop and read culture where at 8 p.m. we stop everything and everybody picks a book and read. We have systems where we read a book together, where we read and review the book together. So these are all structure that we have put in place to help this behavior, to help the children inculcate this behavior, because it is important. It is this behavior, the habits we create around this behavior, that will become a part of the children. And this is how we can actually say that our child can excel academically. It is not, as I said, by just lesson teacher and this one and all of that. Now, what is your child's response or behavior towards, after what do you call it, post tests or exams? What is the behavior? What do you do after that? Do they feel remorseful, or do they laugh when their reports come and they have done badly? I beg, I did not pass it well. What is that behavior? You need to pay attention to that, and you need to build a post behavior. All right, we will have to stop. We've already got 10 minutes extra to tell you how this topic is loaded. All right, so we've been able to do only one part of it. Tomorrow, we are going to jump into the other part. This is just number one. We needed to talk about this behavior because the success actually lies in the behavior first. When the behavior has been put in place, then you can now go to other things that you need to put in place for your child to excel in school. We will complete this tomorrow. So remember to join us tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. where we will do the second and concluding part of this episode. Meanwhile, if you want to order our book, you should order these books to get all the perks that come with it. The perks are even, they are as strong as the books themselves. But amazing books, by the way, amazing books. Don't take my word for it. Get this book and read, and let your children read and share it during your shared reading with them, and you'll see how amazing, or how I have packed blessings in these two books. Okay, Destined for Greatness and Wisdom Stories for Champions. Amazing books. So if you want to get the books, we have the information on your screen right now. Okay, or pre-order our new book for $6,999, 2-in-1, pay to our Zenith Bank account and send the proof of payment to our account 081306215566. Screenshot this information and use it to pre-order your book. All right, the books are almost here. You will get the book next week, yes, but pre-order ends on the 31st. So by Sunday, the price goes up to 9,000 naira, and these specs will be gone by then. So why don't you grab your copy and get the specs worth over 15,000 naira? All right, yes, that's it. And then if you want to join the mastermind, the Odogu Circle for Odogu preteens and young children, that's the information on your screen to join the mastermind. You can also reach us on that number and check at the end of this session. Just check the comments or the description on YouTube, and you have all the information you need to join the mastermind circle that begins, the new cohort begins next week, by the way. Okay, and the first week of September, by the way. And then, of course, to join, to get our books. Thank you very much for joining me. Let us know if you got value from this session, if you're catching the replay, or if you're here right now. I will see you tomorrow again at 8:30 a.m. My name is Reba Chima, and I'm signing out. Always excited to be a part of your parenting journey. Thank you for letting us be. Have a wonderful day.